every single time we appear on camera. Oh, just making sure lawyers are happy that the boxes have been ticked, and they definitely have. There was one bicep there. There was another one. I like the fact that it comes out of the shadows into nowhere. It's just can come up at any moment. So it did right then. The co-host, the co-founder, the co-breather, rare co-wearer of clothes is not here tonight. He is running a little behind schedule today, but that's okay. He will be back tomorrow night. Dave Stockbridge, winner of the Dave Stockbridge of the Year Award. He will be back. But we do have a special guest on tonight's show, and that is Kyle Davison, who is King Kyle. He's committing to King Kyle.
Only for one night only. One night only.
Kyle is a member of the SA Times Arm Wrestling Club and hasn't been to training for the last 2 weeks. We had to bring him on here.
Oh no!
To make sure everybody knows that. That's the only reason I brought you on, Kyle.
I understand. I can go now. I can go.
Yeah,
lawyers are happy.
Coming on. You've been working. You've been doing film work. You're a filmmaker.
Yeah. It's been great. A lot of 12-hour days, plus days, something like that.
That's always fun.
Yeah. Filming cars, bars, local stars.
So what project are you working on at the moment?
So at the moment I'm doing a little product for CMI. Because they've just launched a new location down south in Adelaide. So we've been taking a heap of video stuff for them and taking stills video, creating little ads for them. I'm assuming for television, but also likely online. So,
fantastic!
Yeah, it's been good fun.
And this is something you're doing out of your own production side of things, or that you're working for somebody else, or this is.
Yeah, so it kind of works at a subcontractor level. So they kind of bring me in to kind of like just outsource help, really, because these kind of advertisements can be a big job and they can pile up pretty quick. So in terms of the tasks, at least. So sometimes I'll bring in like drone operators, camera assistants, sometimes even directors. But in this case, I fall under the camera assistant category, and I'm doing a little bit of sound. So. It's very, very good to commercially do the skills that I've learned over the past few years.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this is one of those things with film, the more areas of production that you can do, that allows you to, when jobs come up, you're like, well, actually, I can do that. I can run the camera. I can do the sound. I can do the lighting. I can do the acting. I could do the, so what do you want from me?
I can be the king.
That's right. Mr. Peanut is here. Hello to Mr. Peanut. He's giving us 3 emojis there.
I love it.
We've got the clapping one, or is that the waving one?
It's a wave, I reckon.
It's a wave. Okay, yeah, a wave, a smile, and a popcorn.
That looks good.
Very good, Mr. Peanut. Fantastic. I wonder where that name came from, Mr. Peanut. Why would it be Mr. Peanut?
Maybe it was the movie Snack Stand, if that's where the popcorn also came from.
Oh, you're reaching in now. We'll have to find out.
Digging deep.
If we get the history of Mr. Peanut's name.
Fingers crossed.
That's right. Absolutely. Stay tuned. Yeah. So we were going to talk about the community of arm wrestling and why we enjoy it and what keeps us coming back to the sport. And I'd love to hear your thoughts. I mean, I was there with your first night when it finally managed to convince you to come along.
Yeah.
And I had driven you there, so you couldn't leave.
True. This is true. I was held hostage.
We were there till midnight.
Yeah. I remember you said the first time you were like, oh, just come on down. Like, everyone has like a really good time. You're going to meet all these guys. Like all the club members are awesome, which is so true. Like there was no lie in there. Absolutely not. So we had a great time. And I remember chatting to you. I was like, oh yeah. So how long does this normally go for? And you're like, oh, training's only a couple of hours. I was like, sick. I'm going to be home by probably like 11, maybe. Nope. It's all the extracurricular activities, which I honestly, that's the community building aspect right there, isn't it? Like all the extra stuff that you get to do. So
yeah, I didn't really consider the fact that you wouldn't be that it's like, yeah, but arm wrestling training, and then it's like, hey, I forgot to tell you we go out to dinner after, and then after that we go and play card games.
Which was good. Honestly, it was good fun, and like, you get on the table with everyone, you're like, yeah, hey, how you doing? You shake their hand, and then they absolutely rinse through it.
Yeah, pretty much.
No, there's they teach you a heap of stuff, and you're just like, whoa, there's so much going on, and then at the end of it, you'll sit and have dinner, and it's great. Honestly,
it is
really
a
good
cool
time.
Thing. Yeah, I always love the look on somebody's face when it's like their first time at the club, and they're enjoying themselves, having a good time at training, and then we say, "Look, we're going to dinner just across the road. If you want to come along," and they're like, "Oh, really?" It's like, yeah. All right, and then after that, it's like, we're going to play card games at the ice cream place down the road. You want to come to that? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And then you've got, people like Steve and Ben just like karate chopping your hand as you go to reach things.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite moments in the club history, really.
Oh, it was first night I'd met any of the guys, and we were playing, what was it? It was that hot dog police game. I'll never remember the name of it.
I just call it the police dog game. I don't know.
Police dog? Yeah. So like you got to like, for those who don't know the card game, it's you put all of these cards face down, and everyone goes around one card each. They flip them over. And if you get a hot dog, you move on to the next person. But the second you see a police dog, you have to grab as many of those hot dog cards as possible without getting nothing. So by the end of it, you're supposed to have a collection of hot dogs after weeding out all the police dogs. And my first night there, Steve and Ben, who are two other members of the SA Titans community, they're sitting next to me, and I've got one on one side, one on the other side, and they kind of both look at each other like, we're gonna fuck this new kid up a little. So after rinsing my arm off, they decided, we're also going to karate chop your arm as well. Yeah. So they'll be sitting next to me and they'll just smack me on the side or a good jest. But out of nowhere, I was like, what is going on?
It's so funny. I just remember because you were reaching for one of the cards, and I think it was Ben, and he just smacked your hand. I'm like, Ben, what are you doing? First time here. He's not even know who you are. He's chopping his hand.
Yeah. And then Ben looks at me and he's like, I respect that. No, it's good. And honestly, like it feels like a brotherhood. Like we've been friends ever since. And I think it's honestly those moments where like you're not too afraid to muck around and be yourselves with each other that people really really appreciate and respect. Maybe French doesn't appreciate it, but
that game has been pretty much bad because it's not a violent game. It's not supposed to be. But as soon as that police dog would come up, it was like a free for all. Everyone would just start throwing punches. It's insane. But I did like the revenge that you had. You weren't even playing this time. You'd gone to the bathroom. We were in the middle of a game. You come back.
Yeah.
And you're all standing next to Steve. The police dog has been flipped up and you've just punched him in the arm.
I didn't make the rules up. I came in day one, and that's how it was taught to me. So that's how I play the game.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, that's always good. It's always good.
Great. But yeah, that game, I even pull it out the bag and it just goes, nah.
It's like the deal trading game as well. You pull out the little vault box it comes in. No, we're not playing that.
That's because everyone tries to ruin every game that we play. It's so hard. Steve and Ben will cheat on every single game that we play.
Or my favorite, Ben having one of every color, so we're all looking and we're like, come on, why have we not found them yet? Come on, 2, 2, 3, 3, trade, nothing. Kiwi Quick, how you doing?
Yeah, he says it is the King Quick. Yes, there we go. Good to see you in here, Sam. Sam was there on Sunday. Unfortunately, Kyle was not there on Sunday.
Sorry, buddy, I had kingly duties.
You were knighting others.
I was knighting others, yeah.
Yeah, so what do you think about this upcoming event we've got March 23rd at the Grand Chancellor Hotel? It's going to be taking place with the AWE Grand Prix 3, and you've seen the lineup. We have 7 competitors named. Going to be naming the 8th, but it will be an 8-man double elimination tournament, and we'll be finding out the king of the under 85 kilo division. Hopefully, we could say out of the people that are available at this time. In this region of the world. So what are your thoughts about that?
Look, I haven't been following the sport for too long. So, I only know so much about the under 85 kilo division, but I've got a lot of confidence in Taryn, which is really exciting. It's exciting to see, you know, like, I mean, I've seen some of the stuff that Taron's been doing recently in the past 12 months, and every time I see him, he's just getting stronger and more impressive. I'm still yet to actually get on the table with him because all he can do is teach me. I can't actually provide him any kind of resistance. He's just
the same for all of us.
He's just too strong. He's too strong. He's too powerful. So if you can't stop Taron, then, I mean, it's just going to happen. He's going to win, isn't he? So,
well, yeah. I mean, the good thing is that you can jump on with anybody and you can, you know, have a good training session. And if that person is, you know, what we call I guess a considerate member, then they'll work with you, allow you to get positions, allow you to try to fight for what you want to do, and try to give you feedback as to what you're doing. And yeah, when somebody is just way above your level, that sometimes it's probably the best people to train with, because, you know, A, they're going to keep you safe, and B, they could really feel where you're weak or where you're missing certain techniques, or, you know, as opposed to somebody that may be similar to your strength level, you might be getting wins, you might be, you know, losing, but you're not exactly sure why or what's going on. So as we see some of the footage here of Taron Broad and Josh Barker, who will be competing, both of these men will be competing at the AWE Grand Prix 3. But yeah, contrasting styles with both these gentlemen. Josh Barker, a lightning fast presser, and Taron Broad being in the hook on the inside game. So Taron coming in as the number 1 seed. Josh Barker is very fired up for this. He's been putting on size and strength. He normally competes around the 70 kilo framework or weight, and he is bulking up for this. I think he said he's up to about 78 kilos at the moment. So
it's very impressive, 78 kilos as well. If that's the case, he's looking insanely good at the moment, Josh.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Putting in a lot of the work.
Got a comment here from Mr. Peanut, which Mr. Peanut, president of the Peanut Gallery, 1943. Howdy Doody was a children's radio program. Peanut Gallery was a phrase used on the show to represent the listening audience of kids. Okay, so Mr. Peanut, you're part of the Peanut Gallery. Very good. President of the Peanut Gallery. There you go. Children's radio program. Fantastic. Good to finally know why that name is there, because I have wondered that for a while, Mr. Peanut. And thank you for answering the question and not just putting a completely random fact.
Are we part of your peanut gallery? That's what I'd like to know.
Well, today you are the star
by
of the
technicality. Show. Oh, wow. Okay. Am I also a peanut? Is that how it works?
Sure. Yeah, let's have a look at this one here with the Grand Prix that we did earlier, well, in November last year. So Rickard Warnman was obviously the star of this one.
Who's always been jacked.
He has. Well, it definitely shows here. You're coming up against Tyler Harrison in the opening round.
And Tyler's looking really impressive, especially at this Grand Prix.
Yeah.
Especially in this Grand Prix.
Yeah, absolutely. The good thing with Tyler is that he is consistently improving and working hard to get better all the time. And yeah, unfortunately, running up against the number 1 seed here in the opening round against Rickard Borman. But you know, he was keen. He was very, very wanting to get in and get his opportunity. And although he did, you know, didn't get the win, it's always great to just be on the table with somebody that is of that level. It's like, look, I know I'm probably going to just get absolutely smashed here, but just being able to get up and grip up with that person and have that moment is still a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, like my hat goes off to Tyler as well, because that's not an easy, like for the mental game, for the psychology of going into an event like this, that's not an easy thing to go up straight to first match off the card. So, you know, like, kudos to him as well for showing like absolute no crack in that mental game as well in that first round. Yeah,
you can tell the difference between people that really want it and they really want to succeed with their arm wrestling career, and they'll take every opportunity. You know, I mean, Josh Barker, I mentioned the when I went to invite him to the tournament, and he was instantly like super excited, booked his flights, I think, that day. And he was, you know, tweeting or messaging or sharing or whatever. And you know, he's organizing other people to come along with it. It's just like, well, that's the attitude that somebody that's really going to be putting everything they've got into the sport.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially if you're blowing up your socials about it, you know, like I have a kind of rule of thumb is that I only like to post things on socials that I really, really care about. It's just something that I think is appropriate in a world where you can put literally anything on the internet, you know, and kind of you have to stand by what you say and your convictions online. Like, you know, I only like to put things that I really believe in. And, you know, that's just a great example of someone who really believes in not only the sport, but themselves as well as a competitor, which is really exciting to see. And, you know, like, Josh is a fantastic competitor. He's been doing it for years, and he's looking strong. So, you know, he's excited, and so he should be, because he's put in the work. This is where it all comes together, you know?
Yeah, for sure. The same thing can be said for the gentlemen that are coming over from Southeast Asia. And again, we give thanks to Greg Yo for organising the competitors there and putting the word out for us. So Guy Tanapat, #1 in Thailand, and also Zhu Yu from Singapore, that will be stepping up. And this is one of those unknown quantities, because I was talking to Taryn about this on Sunday night. It's like we don't really know where their level is at. Like they may be ridiculously strong, or they may be underneath the level that that our guys are currently at. But it's a really unknown factor. It's fun to sort of get a measuring stick and say, okay, well, look, this is a tournament. This is the guys that are the top in Australia or this part of the world. We've got people coming over from Southeast Asia. Let's find out how good these guys are. If you're #1 in Thailand, what does that mean for, you know, the oceanic region? Does it mean that they have the ability to dominate here as well, or is it that the Thailand scene is still on the rise and hasn't quite got up to the Australian standard yet, or is the Australian standard beneath where Southeast Asia is? It's a very interesting unknown question that hopefully we'll find some answers to.
Yeah, definitely. And it's honestly, it's opportunities like this that allow us to explore those avenues. You know, if we were training with them every Sunday like we do with the SA Titans, then, you know, we'd probably have a decent idea. But I think the beauty is in the mystery in that case, and we get to showcase it as well to a cool audience at a global scale. So
yeah, for sure.
It's really cool.
Mr. Peanut has a follow-up question. Also, I'll just go into this one. Peanut Gallery refers to rowdy audiences offering unwanted and unsolicited content, comments, and advice. From vaudeville days of live stage show, no comments from the Peanut Gallery means shut up. Okay, very good. So that's why we get random crazy facts and comments from you, Mr. Peanut. That's great. Kevin Broad here says Tyler is definitely one of the biggest improvers in the club in the past 12 months. Absolutely, he is going from strength to strength, and it is fantastic to see that.
Definitely, it's awesome watching all the stuff he's putting up online as well. As he's training each week, some of the crazy cool stuff he's doing, some of the PBs he's hitting. It's inspiring, honestly. It's making me sit here and go, damn, maybe I should be putting my stuff on the internet. Maybe I should make an Instagram page, which I've been saying for a long time, but I haven't actually done yet. So, yeah, very inspirational.
Oh, absolutely. Well, the fun thing is that you can put stuff out there and find your own audience and find your own people that are interested in whatever it is that you are doing. And usually there'll at least be a certain amount of people that will follow whatever it is that you decide to do, whether it's disc golf, or whether it's bodybuilding, or whether it's arm wrestling, or whether it's knitting, or, you know, people put videos of their cat up, you know, but there's enough people that are out there that will also be interested in your little thing. And as long as you sort of, you know, can be consistent and just keep putting stuff out there, and it's genuine, and you know, you're showing that, hey, I'm not doing this just to try to make money, or I'm not doing this just because you know, it's a stupid thing that I'm having a laugh doing. It's like I generally really enjoy this, and that really translates across to the audience, because it's like they're seeing consistently that, well, this person is say with arm wrestling, well, here he's training, like every day there's a video of him training. It's like he really wants to do this. He's really keen. You know, here he's on table time, here he is in the gym, here he is doing this, here he is talking about a match, here he is. It's like, well, okay, if I'm going to follow this guy, he loves this thing. You can tell there's a difference between somebody who is fully committed to whatever it is that their niche is, regardless as to what it is. I remember watching, I don't know why, but a rabbit hole of videos. It was like 3 a.m, and I was watching a guy repair PlayStation 3s.
Yeah, I've been down that rabbit hole. It's a good one. It's a good rabbit hole.
I've no interest in that whatsoever, but the guy that I was watching was really into it, and it was like he was entertaining, and he was explaining the process, and he was making money off of he was getting old things and fixing them and selling them, and I was like, oh wow. And I don't know, it just like again, I didn't deliberately go out searching that, but his passion and his interest was the thing that kept me involved and kept me following on it.
Yeah, for sure. There's a guy who he repairs old iPods, and I was watching him during COVID, and it was every couple of days he was posting, "Here's a new iPod. This is how I repaired it." And I reckon I was down that rabbit hole for like 2 years, maybe watching him every 2 or 3 days. I was like, "Oh, Dank Pods." His name is Dank Pods on YouTube, but he'd be online and he's like, "Yep, I've just went down to Cashies and I found $80 gem and this is how I fixed it up." And you're like, "Oh shit, okay, cool." And I ended up buying iPods. Like I went out and bought iPod classics, and now I've got a handful and a small collection in my little like retro hi-fi system area back there.
Right.
And I use it every now and then. I'll just use them if I just don't feel like listening on my phone. I just pop the earbuds in and just. And that's how crazy the rabbit holes get. And it's just some dude who was putting up things that he really enjoyed. He loves the iPod. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, he just started doing that. And now he's got, I think, 4 channels or something crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny how those sort of things can really blow up, because you think, okay, well, this is something I'm interested in. And it is so niche that nobody could possibly think that this would be entertaining for anybody else, but there are enough people out there, and I guess it depends on the person who's presenting it and how well they present it. But if they're telling a convincing story, or if they're demonstrating something, and either if you're learning from it or they're excited about it and you get swept up in their enthusiasm, it really can make you start getting an interest in something that you're like, I would never have thought that I would have liked this, but I now know all about this, and I never set out to learn about this thing.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the beauty of the internet. I guess that's the beauty of being able to live put out and blog and do all those cool things. And the advancement that the internet offers as a marketing tool is just incredible.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we're just seeing here Alex McKinnon fortunately getting the elbow injury.
Oh no.
Yeah, during the event, but he did stay in the event. I thought this was going to be it, that he was going to be out, but he not only continued to compete, but he did well. He won a couple of more matches, and I mean, you can see Ryan there going, "Are you sure you want to keep going?"
While the adrenaline's going.
Yeah, absolutely. And what a fantastic effort from Alex McKinnon there. He was sort of the standout star, maybe a bit a lesser known quantity going into the tournament, but everyone who watched that event was they definitely knew that the Canberra Dragster after that event, for sure.
Oh yeah. Now McKinnon was very impressive during this Grand Prix. Very impressive.
Phil Woody is up in the UK there. Hello, Phil. How are you, lads? He says, "Love the consistent lives." Cheers. Thank you, Phil. Always good to see you, sir. Andrew Wood is also here. He says, "I like hate followers who threaten your family." Who threaten your family when you don't sponsor them with free equipment. Yeah, oh, no. That's a niche within a niche there, Andrew. I haven't personally experienced that, but
yeah, those damn death threats are getting more and more creative, I swear.
Yeah, that's right. It's like free equipment or that's it.
I'm telling you, you don't look so tough. You don't look so tough.
Andrew actually designs some very interesting training equipment over in the United States. There's some side pressure machines and all sorts of things. He's always on the Friday night 98%
cool
podcast, and one of the shows, for some reason, he set a timer, and then I think he destroyed one of his machines. So he was like, "Oh, it's 3 a.m. It's time to destroy the machine." It was like, all right, sure. But that's the fun part about this community, is that you will find people that have very interesting talents and quirky personalities. And I mean, you come into the SA Titans Arm Wrestling Club and you'll meet 30, 40 different very different people
definitely
that are all different from each other as well. It's not like a very consistent theme. I mean, we've got people from all sorts of ethnicities and backgrounds and beliefs and lifestyles and fitness levels, but we all get along and enjoy the fact that we can jump on the table with any one of them, and it doesn't matter what anything outside of their beliefs, of their appearance, of their physicality. It really doesn't mean anything. It's just as soon as you get on the table with someone, it's like, okay, well, we're doing arm wrestling. That's what we're here to do. That's all I care about. That's what I want to talk to them about. So
Yeah, it's true. I mean, it's true. Look, I like to think of it as it's very Dragon Ball Z, and that is that everyone is only worried about being as strong as the next person that they come up to, and try to get stronger and stronger and stronger. And sometimes in between, we have about 20 episodes of screaming. So very, very in line with the Dragon Ball methodology, that's for sure.
That's right. Yeah. Well, is it Goku from Dragon Ball? Is that where he's
Yeah.
from?
Yep.
Right.
Yep,
Okay. Yeah.
yep.
So,
Ash is Goku.
yeah.
One day, if I'm strong enough, I'll change my name to Vegeta, King Vegeta.
Oh,
Yeah,
I was telling my girlfriend the other day about that those characters are named after vegetables.
Yes.
She didn't believe me, and I was like, they are, and she's like, no, they're not. I'm like, Vegeta that's vegetable.
Is vegetable.
That's the word vegetable. And I'm like,
Yeah.
This character here, that's broccoli in Japanese. This is carrot. This is like, I was like, it's like you've ruined this show for me forever.
But it just proves that you can only get stronger with your vegetables in absolute close contact. You have to eat your veggies.
Say your prayers, eat your vitamins, believe
Exactly.
in yourself.
Yeah.
Was it believe in yourself or stay true to yourself? One of the two.
I believe it's eat your vitamins, say your prayers, and was it stay true to yourself?
Oh, was it stay true or believe in yourself?
Oh, because believe in yourself is the Dermot mantra.
Is it?
Yeah, which could be related in this case.
Yeah, or maybe they stole it from Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
The secret to the shirt rip move is he would pre-cut the shirt here so that it was easy to tear, because trying to tear that from
would be
this
so hard.
You imagine that he accidentally forgot to do it, and then he'd be in the ring like just
and then he just rip the shirt over it.
All right, I'm just going to take this off, and then he gets caught in his hair.
Yeah,
bandana falls off.
The sunglasses come off as he's like trying to
look at her.
What am I going to do, brother?
What's going on?
The Hulkamania shirt is running wild on me, brother.
That's fantastic. It's one of those things that we are yet to see in the arm wrestling world. We've seen a couple of tastes of it with some theatrics, and but I would love to see some of those big entrances, and we're seeing a little bit of that with Knuckles Up, with Arm Gods. They're doing some firework stuff and all that sort of thing. But yeah, it would be quite interesting to have that as because I mean the whole purpose of the WWE and all the professional wrestling side of things is the showmanship side of it. And the character that your character and your storyline, you're coming out, that's what people care about. They don't really care about whether you're winning or losing, because they just you're their favorite character, or you're their most hated character because of the actions that you're taking, which really aren't real. They're not.
No.
So yeah,
and I've got the biggest cheesiest grin on my face right now because I wasn't the first one to bring up WWE. Normally I feel like I'm the first one to bring up WWE. I should have a WWE jar, like your old UFC jar.
Yeah, that's right. It is actually still in the office in the city. I'll have to get it because I still talk about the UFC all the time. But I mean, you come from a point of relevance, and it's like watching that business grow from in 1993 to where it is now, and it's like, well, I mean, I was very hardcore into that, so I know the ins and outs of everything that they did. So when topics come up, it's like, well, I can relate it to that knowledge, and that's the reason why you're going to draw on that all the time. And business is usually very similar across the board with some different nuances, but depending on the industry. But the idea of how to make money, how to get people invested, how to get people interested is always going to be the same. And if you're presenting a show on television or a pay-per-view, it's like, well, why? Well, the first thing is, why would people want to watch it? Like, what is the compelling why should I watch this? You need to be answering that question all the time. And if you can't answer that question, it's like, well, no one's going to be interested in it. It's like, but if you say, well, this is going to be a crazy absolute war between two death machines who hate each other, and they this and that, he did this, he cheated on his girlfriend with him, and he hates him, he's going to get him back. It's like, oh, okay, now I'm interested. I want to see what happens.
And you've hit the nail right on the head there. Like, it's about like, we as people, we're storytellers, and it's kind of something we bang on about in film a little, I guess. Is that we're designed to tell stories, and so like when we're coming up with things that are entertaining, the the only thing that's tried, tested, and true, other than shock value, is being invested in a story. That's what keeps people going and keeps people interested in things. But yeah, we've had a lot of conversations about this, and I'm very pro entrances and I'm very pro theatrics. So if we were to see some in the arm wrestling community, I'd definitely be thrilled. But look, honestly, I think that might be the way to do it. You know, to bring in people who maybe don't necessarily know the sport, or haven't been introduced to the sport, but definitely see, you know, the memes or some of the theatrics or the storytelling from it. You know, that's definitely a really easy way to make it accessible to an audience. So yeah, they're doing really good work over at the WWE, and it'd be kind of cool to see that in arm wrestling.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you've been just reminded me then, and we'll probably wrap up in a couple of minutes here. But just the old entrances that they used to have at some of the early UFC events that I really did miss when they changed it. And you know, the Dana White was of the opinion of, like, I don't like all that side of it. I want guys to be really serious when they're coming out. So it's just music. They just walk out, and it's like, I think you've missed. You took away some elements that were really valuable from, like, I mean, you look here at the Tito Ortiz entrance here from UFC 40. This was the very first event that I ever watched, and you know, it was like a 3-minute entrance because, you know, they've got all this fireworks stuff and all these things going on.
Time lapses of them setting things up.
Oh yeah, yeah,
it's incredible. Amazing. Yeah.
You can imagine traveling from place to place, day after day. You'd have to have a production crew that is just, they know what they're doing left, right, and center, because if they're constantly setting up and traveling to the next place, setting up, packing up, like, that's just their thing, and they're doing it 300 something days a year, they're going to be pretty bloody good at it. And yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And, like, you know, I do a little bit of work in the AV scene, and setting up events, even in a small scale, is no easy feat, and it takes a mountain of people. I think one of the biggest ones I went to it was a pack down, but it was still a massive feat. It would have been, I think, 14 people, and we had a whole dining room, which is obviously nowhere near as big as something like the WWE put on, but, you know, 14 people in a ballroom's worth of space with that much equipment, it was just insane. Like, seeing the amount of just cables alone, screws, stage pieces, like, it all adds up. It's massive.
Yeah, absolutely. Putting on a big show, it does require a lot of effort, a lot of time, and yeah, the people that have the funds, the ability to get to that level, the production side of things, especially if they do it professionally, it does make a big difference. And yeah, I mean, arm wrestling, it feels at this point where most of the promotions are usually doing their own production stuff, or they're trying to figure it out themselves. They're not professional production people, but, you know, they're arm wrestlers first and foremost, and maybe they're putting on an event, and it's like, all right, well, oh god, I need a commentator, I need lighting, I need cameras, I need somebody to run the cameras, I need switching, I need editing. It's like, oh god, I don't know how to do any of that stuff. And it's like, well, you're either going to hire other people to do it, or people try to do it all themselves, and you know, with mixed results. But it does take a huge amount of effort, especially if people are comparing your show to a professional level of, say, something like WWE or UFC, where they have millions and millions of dollars with the best people in the world doing that.
Yeah, for sure. And, like, you know, I mean, no discredit to the places that are doing it themselves. You know, putting in that level of effort just shows the amount of care and passion that goes into the sport, just on people who just like doing the sport. You know, they're learning 3 or 4 different other career options, really. But that's also how WWE started. You know, they were very much so I think it was 2 or 3 states. I think Vince McMahon Sr. had when Vince took over, or maybe it was a few more. And Vince Jr., or Vince McMahon as we know him, he went around and just started rallying all the troops and building and snowballing. And thankfully, it was actually really cool. Netflix made their documentary series or docu-series, and recently learning all that, you're like, oh man, it really does start in the garage, you know?
Oh, so, absolutely. I mean, our club literally did start in Tim Graham's driveway. And now, we're up to like 40, 50 people that are coming along regularly, having a fantastic time. But yeah, if Tim hadn't started that thing and just put it out there, we wouldn't be talking to each other right now.
Yeah, quite literally. So thank you, Tim.
There you go. All right. Well, mate, we won't wrap it up here, and it's so good to have you on the show. Hopefully, we'll get you back into training. I know you're busy, and that's the reason you haven't been training. I'm just like to give you some
please
some stick over that.
Please.
Well, that's all right. Well, thank you everyone in the comments for chiming in. We'll be back tomorrow night, and we will see you then. We'll finish with a double biceps here, just because it isn't a contract.
There's the money. There's the money.
Money shot. Right. They give the people what they want to see. And thank you, Kyle, for jumping in as well.
Thank you for having me. It was lovely seeing you.
Great.